Hey everybody, this is Young Living Diamond Sarah Harnish, and I'm the author of Game Plan and the Script Book. And this is my little guy right next to me. He's Noah Justin. He is 14 years old, and we're sitting in a hotel room in Charleston, South Carolina. So if you guys guessed the Yorktown on my contest a little earlier, then you are totally correct. And we're here for a homeschool field trip. It's our last couple days of school. How do you feel about the last couple days of school, Noah Justin? Would you do the snake over it?
Oh no.
I'm
gonna go now.
We've been practicing dance moves all afternoon. I'm a notoriously really bad dancer, and my kids all have a knack for dancing. I do not have a knack for dancing. So, yeah. So for those of you guys that guessed the Yorktown on my post, I'll go pick a winner as soon as I'm done with this video. I just have my cell phone, so I'm gonna have to end this video and then go look at the post. I've also got one of my other sons with me as well. We're on a homeschool field trip, and we're doing a little study of World War II and doing a little study of the history of slavery and plantations in the South. And so that's what we're here for. So that means the next 2 nights you guys get me in a hotel. Isn't that awesome? I get to shoot in a hotel and then go down to the pool, which is the best day ever. So one of the things we didn't get to last night was we didn't get to go over the FAQ for Raindrop. So I want to do that real quick, and then we're going to train on the mini. I'm going to talk to you about how to use this as a tool for teaching Raindrop classes. How'd you guys feel after that class last night? Did it feel like a really heavy lift for you? We basically explain the science of raindrop and why raindrop is effective on the human body because of chemistry and frequency of oils, right, constituents, and electricity. And then we talk about the oils and which part of the body they're working on. And then I do training on technique with those up-close hand videos so you can really see the techniques. And then I basically just do a top-down run of what raindrop looks like. And then it's up to you guys if you want to do a raindrop, in the class. It'll take you about an hour to do one. Or you can play the entire 60-minute Young Living video. I don't really need to recreate the wheel if Young Living's already got a video out, but it hasn't been put in class format for you guys to teach. So now at least you'll be able to take the script, take the PowerPoint, and literally just read the words and click on the pictures. So why can't I do raindrop with nail polish on my fingernails? I actually haven't heard that you can't do raindrop with nail polish on your fingernails. You guys asked over 1,100 questions, so I'm going to try to take the weekend. I'm on this trip with my sons until tomorrow, or Friday, but when I get back in, I'll take the weekend and I'll really try to go through and answer a bunch of your guys' questions that you asked, because I don't want you to feel like you ask and then I don't get back to you. So yeah, I have not heard that you can't do raindrop with nail polish on. Now you do want to cut your nails back. You don't want any white showing on your nails because it'll scratch them. You don't want any metal on your body because you're breaking and making electrical currents. So if you have metal, it's going to disrupt that circuitry that you have going on. But I mean, I haven't heard anything about nail polish before. Yeah, you could, but I haven't heard anything about it. Doesn't mean that it's not true. I just haven't heard it. So I think the oil would eat the nail polish. I mean, maybe, you're focusing the part of your hand that's touching, the oil. I mean, I guess you get some on, I don't know. I'm not a big painter of nails. So maybe if you're spending a lot of money getting your nails done and then trying to do raindrop, you can't do raindrop with long nails anyway. So it is toxic, but I mean, you have a lot of things that are toxic in your system. If you didn't eat a perfect diet that day, if you have any color in your hair, if you're wearing any makeup that isn't savvy, if you're wearing clothes with dye in them, I mean, you could make that argument for everything, So I understand where you guys are coming from, and it's a good thought, but I don't know that it really makes a huge difference in the outcome of the raindrop. So what I think would be more of a problem would be wearing metal. That would be a problem. And having nails that are too long because you can scratch them. Okay. All right. So what I want to do tonight is, I'm going to get lots of time. I just took 12 hours to myself today, Joy. I'm doing really good. I can hang out with you guys for a few minutes. Not a big deal. My sons are about to go swimming. They're super happy. My nails are already short and I have a hip replacement. I wouldn't really worry about the hip replacement. I mean, there's some things you just can't change, but if you have somebody in front of you that really needs a raindrop, even with the hip replacement, I would still do the raindrop. The oils react to the polish. I mean, yeah, they would react to just about everything, but I don't know that it's going to stop the effects of the raindrop from working. It'd be more of a story for you and having your nail polish messed up than hurting the raindrop that the person's receiving, is my understanding. So, all right, let's talk about a little FAQ on Raindrop. I have had a great day today. Yeah, I explored, thank you, Darlene. I explored a warship and a destroyer and an aircraft carrier. And my son's got to do a flight simulator for an F-18. And there's another diamond in Young Living that flew F-18s. He's retired now, David Trombley, who just wrote a book that's amazing called Grounded and Cured that I'd really recommend you guys go check out. It's his story with cancer and healing cancer naturally. He's an amazing man. But we were texting him back and forth, and I was like, hey, I wonder if this is like your plane. And he goes, that isn't my plane, but my plane's in a museum where I live, and you can come here and see that one. So that was kind of a neat moment today. And you make friends with other diamonds, and they've all had careers in other places before they were diamonds. And so I'm, texting him back and forth, and the tour guide is looking at my phone saying, who's that? Who are you texting? And I said, oh, it's, a retired fighter pilot who flew planes like this. And the guy's like, no way. I said, I know. When you're a diamond, you know people, right? You know people who know people. Grounded and Cured. Yeah, I'd highly recommend his book. I really enjoy nonfiction. My son wants to say hi to you guys. Here's my other one. He wants to show you his muscles. He's almost 17. They're very big. Yeah. All right. So back to what we were saying. Normally, I'm a nonfiction girl. Like, I just love reading for knowledge and wisdom. And so I will just get lost in nonfiction books. His book is nonfiction because it's his personal story, but I'm more into like research and, study of different topics, gardening and oils and that kind of stuff, more so than people's personal narratives and stories. So when I picked up David's book, I was like, I'll read the first chapter or two and give him a shout out because I love him as a person. And so I read the first chapter. Legit, guys, I could not put that book down. Like, he gave us a preview copy and we only had the first 13 chapters. And I sat there and read all 13 chapters in like 40 minutes. It was so good. The writing was so, so, so good. So then immediately I went and bought a copy on Amazon and got it in my hands and read it. So I would just highly, highly recommend his book. It's so good. All right, so what we're going to do tonight is we are going to just talk through some FAQs, and you guys can feel free to ask me your questions. Just let me get through the content from the script book first, and then we will pop into the mini, and I'm going to talk to you about the mini for Raindrop. And then tomorrow night, we're going to train on the workbook for like 30, 45 minutes. Won't be a heavy lift, either 2 days. Next week, we're taking the week off because it's convention. So I'll pop on roundtable style on Tuesday night for a little bit, just a few minutes, and just do questions and giveaways and that kind of stuff. And we'll do some business training. But I'm not going to do a full boot camp week with you because it's convention and I really want you guys to focus on convention. I'm going to have a whole bunch of my leaders at my house and we're doing convention at my home. So, and I want to be able to have you guys stay focused on that, which is where your attention should be during convention week. But we'll pick it back up the week after. All right. Charmaine says, hi, Sarah from beautiful Oregon. The name of that book is Grounded and Cured, and it's by David Trombley. Yeah, he's a really good friend of mine. All right, so let's talk about some bonus topics on Raindrop. I just didn't want the class to go longer last night, so I'm giving it to you in this way tonight. So you're still masochistically coming back for more on this topic. We had so many people on last night. Thousands and thousands. I think 5,500 people saw it live last night. That's crazy. That's a really, really great crowd. And so here's a few FAQs that I just didn't want to, make the time go too long. I spent so much time on the script because I really believe it is the most valuable skill in oiling. Really, really, truly believe. And that's saying a lot because the next script we're going to do is emotional release. So that's they believe that 80 to 90% of sickness and disease is rooted in emotions. So that's pretty intense. But I believe that Raindrop is the building block for emotional release. So understanding VitaFlex and understanding Raindrop helps you to get rid of some of those feelings that you have had that you've been holding on to. And then that can get to some root issues that maybe you haven't been able to find answers for, right? It's pretty cool. So believe it or not, it's not always the most time consuming, but yet the most valuable skill. And if you felt like that class was a lot, read on. I really hope that you get to a place where you feel like you can grab the script, open the PowerPoint, and just read it. And that it's not a really heavy lift. It took us, once we started the class, it took us less than 90 minutes to do that entire class with all the videos in it. So I'm really hoping that it isn't something that's overwhelming, that you're able to teach on the topics, give them some science, show hand position, give them resources and where to start, and they'll feel like they've gotten a really good Raindrop class. And we taught it compliantly. too. I mean, that's a tough class to teach compliantly. So I feel like we really nailed it last night. So I hope that it was a blessing to you guys. So here's some questions that people ask me about raindrops. First off, I want to give you a little background on me. I am not a raindrop instructor. I have been to many care schools, and I have read all of the care books. I never got to see Gary Young do it in person. I had tickets to Croatia, and that was the very last time that he did it, and I was exhausted on the game plan tour, so I didn't go. And boy, it is one of my biggest regrets in Young Living is not going and seeing Gary do Raindrop in person. I've gotten Raindrop a couple of times down in Ecuador at the Nova Vita Clinic. I've had the blessing of seeing Tamara Packer teach it, actually at Gary's house for a retreat that Ollie Wanker did, and she is like the premier instructor on Raindrop in Young Living. So I've had some really, really good teachers. That said, I'm a mom. I have no medical background. I have no training. Like, I'm not certified in this at all. So you got to understand that when I'm teaching you guys this, that my job as a news anchor for 23 years is to take really difficult topics and make them easier to understand. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm a doctor, or it doesn't mean that I'm a lawyer or I'm a politician, but I have the know-how to go in and look at legal documents and look at police records and look at primary source documents and just make them easy for the layperson to understand and then regurgitate them. That is what my background is in, is making hard things simple. So, as a mom coming to you, talking to other moms here, I want to just come and speak to that place saying, hey, even without being an instructor in care or, having some higher level training on this other than just attending the care schools myself, I still feel pretty confident in my Raindrop. And I feel like you guys can turn around and do this stuff on your families, on your kids, and you're going to build confidence with it all as well. And it's just a wonderful skill to have in oiling. I mean, I think of all the things that I've learned and all the books that I've read and all the reference guides that I had to study even to write the script book. I still think that Raindrop is the thing I've used more than anything else in all oiling. Well, we got people on from Manila and the Philippines. This is awesome. So I just pray that these resources, the PowerPoints and the scripts, are just a blessing to you guys, and that you're able to really turn around and start training your team. At the very least, they're going to understand what the oils do. We'll debunk some things on energy for them. They'll understand which oil's working on which organ. They'll understand a little bit of chemistry with some of those phenols and sesquiterpenes, monoterpenes. They'll understand technique with Raindrop, and they'll understand a little history and how it was created. And from there, you just get out and you start practicing. You start practicing it. You start making your hands match the pictures and doing the best that you can. I still would recommend that if you're able to in your lifetime, you get to a care school, because there really is nothing like standing in front of somebody and having an instructor reposition your hands and say, oh, actually, you're kind of on the spleen over there, and I don't really think that's where you want to be, so let's move your hand over here instead. I think that there's a benefit to having just that hands-on person coming alongside you and showing you technique, showing you ways to save your back, that kind of stuff. We all develop bad habits. So I would challenge you guys to get to a care school. But in the interim, this is a way that you can start utilizing some of this knowledge right now. Okay? Is there an age restriction for Raindrop? Tom, no, I've done Raindrop on newborn babies before. Now, I do it way differently than I do it on adults. So, for example, if I'm giving a child an oil internally, I would never fill a veggie cap and have them take that. That dosage is way too high. But what I would do is I might put some of that vitality oil on my finger and touch the roof of their mouth with it, right? So if I'm doing a Raindrop on a baby, I'm going to lay a lot of carrier down. I'm going to do 1 drop of oil, or if their back can't handle it, then I might just stick to their feet and focus on that instead. Even putting the oils in the diffuser, depending on how little they are. But I've done Raindrops on babies as little as 8 weeks old, and we've had really good results from them. Really good results. So, okay. So do you charge for Raindrops? We're just going to answer a couple questions about it. You are legally allowed to charge for your supplies, like your oils, and the going rate is about $20 to $25 in oil that you use. Most states have restrictions on doing this as a business, unless you've been to massage school or you're a licensed spiritual healer. And each state has slightly different wording on what that looks like. But it basically means that you have approval to anoint for religious reasons. You won't get in trouble for anointing people. Different states use different wording, but both require some type of a certification process, like being a massage therapist. Can I just speak to this topic for one moment, though? And And it's really kind of neat because I do think that even the people that are involved in the care school would align and agree with this. Maybe you feel called to do Raindrop on the people around you, and I love that. I love that. I would never discourage somebody from a calling. If you feel after sitting through this class that you are called to become a care instructor and go through the care program and start teaching and charging and opening a business, please hear my heart. I don't want to discourage you from what you feel called to do. However, if you have an entrepreneurial mind and you're looking at it just from a business vantage point, then your time would be better served training the people around you how to oil with these scripts and loving on them, and then go build an oils team, because the residual income is in your downline. It's not inside businesses that you own. Whether you're making bracelets or making oils racks or, making roll-ons or whatever it is, diffuser jewelry and that kind of stuff, the residual income is in your team. It's in the people that are underneath you that fall in love with Young Living, that are utilizing Thieves every month and taking supplements and all of that. And so, you're going to be blessed with the freedom that comes through that. The income is in your downline and the people oiling in your organization, and it comes from teaching and training. So if the Lord has laid a Raindrop business on your heart, then I would recommend that you get to the rank of Diamond in Young Living so that you have built that security blanket for your family, and then pursue it when you have the freedom financially, so that your family is taken care of first, is what I would recommend. Because you're always going to have to do Raindrop to maintain that business income coming in. And I love the idea of doing Raindrop on people, but I will also tell you, man, am I grateful in the middle of the pandemic to have that diamond check coming in every single month. Like, it's been such a blessing to our family. Such a blessing. So I hope you hear my heart in that, and that really, I believe, as a diamond and as a diamond at Team Young Living, if I can offer some, gentle coaching there, that if the Lord has laid it on your heart, just make sure your family's taken care of first, and then pursue some of those desires of your heart. So let's see. Karen says, I was trained by Dr. David Stewart at one of Dr. Charnel's intensives when I first started Young Living, and it was awesome. I would have given my left arm, Carolyn, to be trained by David Stewart. He's pretty amazing. I have been trained by Anthony a few times, and he is such a gifted friend. Some of you guys are asking questions about diseases, and I just can't answer that without having my page shut down. So I'm really sorry about that, but you can look some of that stuff up in the reference guides. All right. Last night's class was so good. Thank you. Thank you for making things simple. I saw a question on here, but I don't know where it went. So, okay. Do you want to teach this to your team, but it's unbelievably long? You're like, all right, Sarah, you taught for 2 hours last night. I don't think my team is going to sit through a 2-hour thing. You got a lot of different options of teaching this class. It actually really naturally divides about halfway through. You can do a Science of Raindrop class where you train specifically on frequency, chemistry, electricity, currents, and the oils and what they do and what parts of the body they're working on, and even maybe some of the techniques. And then the second half, actually do a demo. Right? You can do that. If your team can only handle short versions, then just break it into 15-minute chunks. That's the nice thing about having it in this kind of a format. You literally can practice it, see how long it takes you to read 15 minutes, and divide it by that many paragraphs and break it out over a week, and just teach Raindrop every night for 15 minutes for a week. So there's really no wrong way of sharing the script. No wrong way at all. But I can tell you the whole class top down last night took me only about 90 minutes to read. So I know when you open it up and you look through it, it looks like a lot, but you've got those videos that you click on that really take a lot of the work out of it for you. Loanne says your script books are, I lost it. She was talking and then I lost it. She said your script books are easy to read. You make hard things look simple. Thank you, friend. That really means a lot to me. Okay, every time I touch on it, it just disappears. So let's see. If anybody has seizures, is it okay to use basil? So here's my thought on that kind of stuff. You're going to have to make your own personal decisions on how you feel about certain oils. I see a ton of restrictions for oils when you're pregnant, but you guys know I have a background as a doula. I've assisted in a lot of live births, and I have yet to see a single oil cause a miscarriage or some severe life-threatening instance. It's in the reference guide, so it has to have happened to somebody or it wouldn't be in there, but I just haven't seen it. I've seen it happen, and I've been involved in a lot of births. So what I would tell you is just go with your gut. If you're dealing with somebody that's got a lot of health issues, that doesn't respond very well to natural things, and you want to try basil on them, but they do have a history of seizures, maybe, you put a drop on their feet and then you just see what happens, or you heavily dilute it and see what happens. Maybe you're not giving them basil in veggie caps, and just kind of see if they can handle it. Because my experience with that kind of stuff is sometimes it's done in really high doses, some of these case studies that they've got, or there are people with multiple things going on. It's not just one thing going on, or it's an isolated, really rare isolated incident, so only you know your body and know what you can handle and know what the people around you, your loved ones, can handle. So if you have a gut feeling that you shouldn't do it, then don't do it. Absolutely don't do it. If you have a gut feeling that you think it's probably safer than some of the other stuff that they're using, then dilute heavily, go low and slow, start on the feet, do 1 drop and see how they are. See how they handle it. And, you might be really surprised at the oils that seem to be so dangerous, but, really you're not reacting to them in that way. So can you give yourself a raindrop? This is another question I get asked a lot. Yes, you can actually feel the effects of raindrops simply by VitaFlexing your own feet. So if it's hard for you to reach your feet, or you're just not very limber, then, you'd need somebody else to do it for you. But if you can sit cross-legged comfortably for maybe 30 minutes, you can actually do a VitaFlex on your own feet. You just apply the oils just as you would for the beginning of the raindrop technique and stop before you would start working on the spine. If you're uncomfortable working on your own feet, then you can train somebody near you. And I told you, my 12-year-old daughter did that for me. So another question I get, can the effects of raindrop truly last for months? Can they last for months? It depends on the person. So in general, if you're healthy and you have the proper diet and exercise and a good mental attitude, it does help. 1 raindrop may last for months for one person, and for another person, they might need the technique done every single week until the body starts to respond to it. So the key is to retrain the body. It might take several weeks to a year or even longer, depending on how they live and how much stress they have been under. Can I just skip the whole script and make a raindrop roll on? Actually, Gary Young addressed this. So I found some source material of him talking about the raindrop oils in a roll-on. And here's the short answer. Not if you want raindrop to work the way that Gary intended. Some of you guys were talking to me last night and you're like, wait a second, I learned raindrop and I didn't learn it this way. I did this first, and then I did this first, and I did this oil in this direction. And, I did all the oils on the right foot first, and then I did all the oils on the left foot first. Pretty much, I've seen a lot of videos of Gary doing raindrop, and every single one that I've seen, he does it differently, like every single one. The reason that the Care School teaches raindrop in that way is because David Stewart actually went to Gary and said, how do you want this taught? And Gary said, if you're going to teach it, this is the one that I want preserved. And so that's the one that they turn around and they teach. So it's not that it's better or worse. It's just that when he was standing in front of people, he was really intuitive, and he would tend to tweak the raindrop based on what their needs were at the time. And so, so that answers one question on why some of the techniques look a little bit differently. It's just the way that he wanted remembered. But, you might get in front of somebody and you have an intuition on them and you do it differently because the Lord just leads you to do the raindrop differently than what you've been trained. And that's not wrong. It's not wrong. You're getting the oils on their body. You're getting it in their spine. So let's talk about a roller. I think if Gary wanted raindrop to be done in a roller, he would just give it to you in a roller, and he wouldn't have taken the time to teach you VitaFlex and teach you, feathering and learn all of these different techniques to drive the oils into the spine. It's just not designed to work the way that Gary intended. So there's a fast way to do a portion of the raindrop technique effectively, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. But mixing all the oils in a roller bottle is not really the way to go, because it's actually the opposite of what you want to do. So when you put the oils in a roller, and especially blends like Valor and Aromaseas, it's like putting 50 people in a 10 by 12 bedroom. They're going to be smashed against each other and unable to move their arms. It's like you're mucking up the blends. And there are some blends in raindrop. Aromaseas is a blend. Valor is a blend. And when we get to the blending class, I'm going to talk about blending blends and what Gary thought about that. When he made a blend, he did it pretty amazingly. He's looking at some, some really neat things chemically in the oils. We'll talk about this when we get to the blending class, but when you're putting oils together, you're working with notes in an orchestra. And so you can go up to the piano and you can just hit all the keys like you're a 3-year-old kid, or you can go up and start playing chords. and you can start playing little arpeggios and all of that. When you understand aromachemetry, your oils come out like chords instead of coming out like a toddler hitting the keys. And so that's what happens when you're putting blends of blends together, is you're a toddler and you're slamming on the keys. So you don't want to do that. You're mixing oils whose constituents may cancel each other out because you're lacking in an aromachemetry background. So I know you're lacking an aromachemetry background. So I wrote the blending class for people without chemistry backgrounds. And it's going to be really easy for you guys to be able to do blending professionally and know what those chords are. I basically give you the chords so that you know how to do it. So you want to stick around for the fall when we do the blending class because it's so much fun. But the molecules are less effective and they can actually be negated or they can be dulled by other oils. So the rule with mixing oils is not to mix blends. Always do singles if you can help it. So I guess if you did a raindrop roll-on and you kept out Valor and you kept out Aromaseas, you would have a more precise blend than by adding those blends into the blend. But then look at what you're losing by not including Valor. You're losing that electrical alignment of the body, which sets the stage for the raindrop to work correctly, right? So it's almost like you need to do the Valor first and then mix the oils, but don't put Aromaseas or Valor in it, but it's just, the long story short, it's not as effective as doing a raindrop on somebody. But if you don't have raindrop training or you're not feeling confident in your technique, I can teach you a 3-minute raindrop that will be way more effective than putting the oils in a roller bottle. Way more effective, all right? So the fastest way to do raindrop in a time crunch is what I call the mini raindrop. So you're still utilizing the layering technique, but you're skipping vitaflexing the feet. And some people just do the vitaflexing of the feet because vitaflexing works without raindrop, without the oils, and because it's working electrically, and oils work without vitaflexing. So when you put the two together, it's pretty neat because you're using two different sciences together. Gary was pretty intuitive with the way that he did it. So what I do when I have to do a really fast raindrop on somebody is I do what I have coined the mini raindrop. I just work on their spine. The spine is the nerve highway for the entire human body. So yes, it's very effective to work on the feet because the pores are larger, the nerve endings end there, they will travel up the nerve and the oils will get where they need to go. But if I had to pick between the spine and the feet, in my opinion, the spine is, you're throwing a lot of things at the wall and you're likely to hit what you're going for if you're working with the spine because you're just working with so many nerve endings and you're working directly, it shoots directly to the vagus nerve, you're, in closer proximity to the brain, the oils have less to travel. So it's pretty cool. So is this as effective as doing a full 60-minute raindrop? Probably not, because you don't have your Valor balancing and you don't have the vitaflexing of the feet going on. But I've seen some really cool things with just a 3-minute raindrop, which is why I'm really confident putting it in the book. And I would tell you if, you're down and you're sick and you've got sickness going through your house and you want to do a raindrop just for some immune support, but you don't have the strength to do an hour on, 3 or 4 members of your family, this is a really good second choice. Okay, it's a really good second choice. So in my opinion, this training is worth the value of the entire script book. And it's something that I have used in my own home over and over and over again. And I see results with it even without doing the full raindrop. So Lord knows that I've done imperfect raindrops and I've done shortened raindrops. My primary need for raindrop technique in my home is immune support, especially when I have more than one person in my home that's feeling off. We have a large family. We've got 5 kids. We've got 1 child who's married. We've got 2 children getting married this year. I've got 3 grandkids. So my immediate family is like 20 people and they're always in my house all the time, right? And there's only one of me to go around. So nobody else really wants to sit down and do raindrop on everybody. Or during soccer season, like who has time during soccer season to do raindrop on every person in your house? So the mini version is also really good if you have grumpy kids because they're not going to sit still for 60 minutes for a full raindrop session because they're grumpy, right? Enough said. So the concept is really simple. I call it the 3-minute raindrop or the busy mom version. And again, this doesn't substitute a full raindrop, but I have seen very similar results doing this versus doing the full raindrop. And I've done it probably close to 100 times in the last 4 or 5 years and had very good results with what I'm looking for. So step 1, put Valor on your hands And you're going to lay the receiver down on your table and just have them breathe it in, and then put your hands on the shoulders and balance them. I'd be in your house too if I was your immediate family. Carolyn, you'd always be welcome. Step 2 is have them flip over, and you're just going to focus on the back. So you do a quick Valor balancing. If they're one of your kids, you're probably going to balance them pretty quickly because you guys are in tune. Your bodies operate at a very similar frequency, so I can usually find that heartbeat really quickly with them. So have them flip over and drop the oils one at a time on their back. So make sure that you go all the way from the sacrum, the bum, to the atlas, well into the hairline. You don't want to miss any of those nerves because you're in a hurry. So butt crack. Oh my gosh. All right, I need to go to bed. Butt crack into the hairline. And then I would wait at least 30 seconds, 60 seconds if you can before you drop the next oil, because you want to give it time to enter the dermal layer of the skin. Essential oils are wonderful because they're not fatty oils. So they don't leave a residue on the skin that feels like oil. They just get absorbed. Matter of fact, when I was doing Raindrop, I just came through a care school this last weekend with my team in New York. And poor Anthony Stewart was getting so frustrated with me because he's like, Sarah, you don't need to salt, pepper, shaker every single oil. Like, stop using the oils like a diamond. Not all of us are on a diamond budget. Like, back off and stop, like 3 to 6 drops. You don't need to dump it. And I'm like, no, Anthony, come over. Look at what's happening. Every time I would drop the oils in my hand and I would go to start Vitaflexing on them, by the time that I would make my well and start, turning the oils in my hand and go to Vitaflex their feet, the oils were gone, like completely gone. And I'm like, watch. And I would put Valor in my hands and it's gone. And then I would put oregano in my hands. It's gone. I put thyme in my hands. It's gone. And he's just like, ugh. He's like, we need to get you on the table and do a raindrop because your body wants the oils and it's taking it before you can get it on their body. So, my kids, when I first started doing raindrop on them, they're like, no, I don't want my skin to be greasy and oily. And I'm like, don't worry. Your mama's going to eat it all. Like, you don't even need to worry about it. I take all the oil from you. But no, essential oils, they get absorbed very quickly into the skin. They're not fatty oils, so they're not going to leave a residue like coconut oil will, right? They just get absorbed and the skin's going to feel dry. So that's really good news for fussy oilers. Make sure you go all the way from the sacrum, from the bum, all the way to the atlas, which is well into the hairline, and don't miss any of those nerves, all right? Not any of them. Heads up, though, if you have sensitive skin or you're dealing with little children, like 3, 4, 6, 7 years old, and their skin is like baby skin, you might opt to skip oregano, thyme, or peppermint between the shoulder blades. I don't go any higher than the shoulders, even when I'm working with an adult, because those are really pretty hot oils. And the thing is as you're feathering them in, it's going to collect in all those folds in the neck, and they're going to get red even if they wouldn't have gotten red before. So just be very gentle, especially if you're working on little people. My rule of thumb is if they're as big as me, they're probably fine and they're going to handle the oils okay. And I'm 5'2", so I ain't no thing. But if they're smaller than me, then I will, use a little less. Maybe I'll use 1 or 2 drops of thyme or 1 or 2 drops of oregano, and I don't just go gung-ho like cypress. Man, I'll drop 30, 40 drops of cypress easily on a person. But I'm a little more gentler. Oh my gosh, I need to wrap up this video. So when those 3 hot oils are applied near the neck, they get caught in the folds of the skin. So what I will do is I will take like Valor oil. I only have cedar wood next to me, so let me just grab some cedar wood. I've got this diffusing. I'll take not cedar wood, but I'll take Valor oil and I'll just drop it down the spine from that butt crack all the way into the hairline. If it's Valor, I'll stop at the shoulders if it's oregano or thyme, and I'll do a couple of drops. I wait 30 to 60 seconds because I want it to get absorbed into the skin, or I'll just start feathering right away and make sure that my 3 inches, 6 inches, and 12 inches feathering takes at least 60 seconds before I drop the next oil on. So I want to make sure that it's absorbed into their skin. All right. So I'm going to do 3, 6, 12 feathering on Valor. Then when it's been 60 seconds, I drop oregano, 3, 6, 12 feathering. Then when it's been 60 seconds, I drop thyme, 3, 6, 12 feathering with it. Then basil, then wintergreen, then marjoram, then cypress, then peppermint, then Valor. And you can do white angelica with them as well, especially if it's been some emotional stuff that you're trying to work with them on. So Valor, just to recap from yesterday, is balancing and calming. It's going to, bring that body into electrical alignment. Oregano is a cleaner. Thyme is a cleaner. Basil supports your voluntary muscles, arms, legs, back, and abdomen. Wintergreen supports the joints and the skeletal structure. Marjoram supports the involuntary muscles muscles and heart and diaphragm. Cypress pushes things out to the liver and the lymph nodes. It's really good for circulation. Peppermint is a driving oil, so it helps all the other oils work more effectively, and it's also a good oil for liver support. And then Valor, again, is balancing and calming, and White Angelica is clearing. It's going to get some of that bad emotional stuff out of their body. So I start with Valor. You drop 4 to 6 drops on the spine, 6 inches above the skin. Do your feathering. Repeat with all of the oils. And then at the end, I feather straight to sides, which is your sets of 3. 1, 2, 3, all the way out to their sides. Down the rib cage tends to tickle them. Then you move up just a smidge. 1, 2, 3. Move up a smidge. 1, 2, 3. Then I'll do full length strokes all the way up their body. And then I do those angel wings, which are your, teacup and your saucer and your dish. And I do each one 3 times. So I'm 3, 6, 12ing, 3 times on each of those. And I do my angel wings 3 times. I do my full length strokes 3 times. And then you're done. That's it. Right? That's it. I literally am just do a Valor balancing, drop the 9 oils or 10 if you're using White Angelica on the spine, feather it all in, and that's the end of Raindrop. And it's crazy, guys, even just from doing that, from getting those powerful cleaners and the phenols, sesquiterpenes, phenylpropanoids, monoterpenes, getting it into the spinal tissue 60 seconds apart. It's crazy. Even what something like that can do. And you guys can literally do that in less than 3 minutes easily. All right. So I can do this bad boy in truly less than 3 minutes. And these are the stories that you'll collect as you're out there doing 3-minute raindrops on your friends and family. So if you feel that they need some support in other areas, maybe they need respiratory support, so you grab Raven and you throw that in too, it's okay. Just remember to keep your carrier close. If you see any redness on their back, sometimes my kids beg me for an Ortho Ease rub down before they get off the table because they know how good it feels. And sometimes I give in and sometimes I don't because they just keep lining up and then they want more and more and more massages, right? You've seen those 2 sillies. Those are the 2 that I still have at home and they're so much fun. I have 3 years and I'll be an empty nester so fast. So that is the 3-minute raindrop. 9 oils down the spine, Valor balancing, 3, 6, 12 feathering, do some straight to sides, full length strokes, angel wings, and, prick them with a bee. And that's the end, right? Super easy. Try it tonight, guys. Like line up all the oils that you have out of Raindrop, throw somebody on your bed and just do it in 3 minutes. So other FAQs, and then we'll get into the mini. I'm talking a little longer than I wanted to tonight. So what if I need one of those mini raindrops for myself? Gail says, my scalp is horribly itchy with some skin problems. Does the Raindrop help with something like this? I would love to give you medical diagnosis on this page, but I just can't. That crosses the line of compliance. What I can teach you is technique. I can teach you history. I can tell you to look some things up. I can point you in the right direction, and I can say things that I'm allowed to say off the Young Living website, but I don't want to cross that line because I want to make sure that I keep this page compliant and we can have it forever and ever. Amen. So as long as I'm showing you where and not why, you guys can do it and get to your own whys, right? Do it and get to your own wow moments. Just trust me when I tell you Raindrop is kind of an end all be all. For me, as far as techniques go, it's like the frankincense of essential oils. Like it literally is adaptogenic to the body and what it needs. So if you have something and you don't know what to do, maybe do Raindrop. Okay? Maybe do Raindrop on it. So what if I need one of those raindrops for myself? If you're not feeling up to foot Vitaflexing yourself, and all your kids are at soccer, then just toss the Raindrop oils into 2 cups of Epsom salt and put them into hot bath water for 20 to 30 minutes. So this is an example where you could mix the oils together because they're in a dispersant like Epsom salt or a roll-on, and it's going into a huge bathtub. It's not like it's in a little carrier, in a tiny roll-on bottle. You want about 10 drops of each oil, and you're going to feel like you've had a $150 massage, even though you didn't. So you don't have to Vitaflex your own feet, but if you do, it's really powerful. If you're not up to it, a Raindrop bath is a really good second choice. So let me see here. Valor balancing all the way along the side. The cheat sheet's amazing. That cheat sheet, I don't know if you guys have looked at this in your teacher's editions, but this also is truly worth the entire book. In my opinion, this is worth the whole book. I asked myself what I could give you guys as somebody who has done hundreds and hundreds of raindrops. Like, what is the one thing that I use more than anything else with Raindrop? And it's a cheat sheet. It really is. More than the aprons, more than the fancy tables and, the little shelves and all the little knickknacks you can buy to do Raindrop. just being able to remember which technique comes next and which oils next. See how the oils are all on one side, the techniques are on the other side. And we had that cheat sheet vetted by the Care School. So just a huge shout out to the Care School. I love them so much. They've been such a blessing to me in my business, in the growth of my business. I'd recommend you guys get a bunch of your leaders together and take them out for a Care School. Find one that's close to you. They're all over the United States, and there's even some around the world. Find one that's close to you and bring some of your team to one of them for a weekend. So that cheat sheet is such awesome. Yeah, take the cheat sheet out, laminate it, and use it forever. Is the 3-minute in the bath in the mini book? It's not in the mini book, but it is in the script book. Matter of fact, I'm reading out of the teacher's edition right now for you. So what would I do? I would do a raindrop bath if you just got 20 minutes to yourself and just throw it in and just get in there, right? So continuing raindrop education, I hope that the study of raindrop was absolutely fascinating to you guys. It is by far my favorite technique in all of Young Living, and it is the most practical skill that I have ever learned. I probably do a mini raindrop on somebody in my house at least every other week. And it's not even just for immune support. There's so many. If you got something lingering and you can't figure out what's going on, just throw your kid on the bed and do a mini raindrop on him and just see. So if you want to know more about raindrop, there's a few places that I can point you. Number one, go to youngliving.com/raindrop and watch the raindrop video. I told you I'm going to put it in as a bonus video in the PowerPoint. So if you guys want to watch an entire demonstration of it, it's built into the PowerPoint and you'll be able to just hit play and watch it. And then you don't have to demonstrate it, especially if you're doing a Zoom class. Just know it's going to add an hour onto your class time. So you might choose to break it into a couple segments, or maybe you make it a day-long training and you guys break for lunch and come back for it. It'll make it a pretty hefty class, but it takes the pressure of doing a demonstration off of you. You literally can teach an entire raindrop class on a Zoom call, like the whole thing, demo and all. So I will add that video in so that you guys have access to it. Number two, find Gary Young's small book on raindrop on Amazon and just go build your oils library. Care School is how long? It's 4 days, which is one of the reasons why I love it, because if you're going to an aromatherapy school, guys, you're looking at 6 months plus for school. You're going to be memorizing genus, species, taking tests, reading 20, 30 books. Like, it is so distracting when you're trying to grow your business. Care School, you go for a weekend. Like, it's 4 days that you got to give up. You're not going to die. You got to teach a class a week, teach a class on Wednesday, and go to Care School Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday as your reward. Like, your business is not going to come to a screeching halt by one weekend of Care School, but it can if you're going to become a clinical, certified aromatherapist. I mean, you literally could lose a rank or two in the time that you take to pursue that kind of stuff. So I'm a huge advocate of Care School, not a huge advocate at all of a lot of the clinical, certifications and stuff they have out there. Honestly, because first off, they teach against MLMs and they teach against internal use of oils, even though the FDA has Gross oils and they say it's okay. They teach against all of that stuff. So you're getting untrained things that you should be trained in Young Living that are not applicable to a company of our grade. And secondly, it's not practical stuff. Like, it's not actually things that I use. I mean, you're going to learn the ear technique when you go to Care School. You're going to learn a hip atlas. That's huge, like huge. You're almost learning like little chiropractor techniques. You're going to learn raindrop. You're going to learn emotional release. You're going to learn oils of the Bible. You're going to learn some chemistry so you understand like what chemotypes are and that kind of stuff. So it's really good. Like, it's just, I don't know. I have six different certifications in different fields of aromatherapy. I haven't used any of them. Like, I've gotten more out of reading the beginning of the reference guides and definitely more out of going to Care School than I got out of that stuff. So if you're contemplating that because you're just so excited about oils and you want to learn everything about oils, go to Care School. Like, that's really what I would recommend. All right. It's 25 hours hip atlas. Yes. Oh, that is such a good technique. So good. But you got to go to Care School to go learn it. See, I'm giving them a huge tease tonight because I love them. Yeah, it is costly to go. It's about $700 for the weekend, but you're going to walk away with 5 certifications. Like, you're going to get certificates in the mail that say that you have finished the training for that stuff. So it's pretty cool. All right. One of my home healthcare clients is 90 and quite heavy. I don't know if I can find that question. Let me scroll back. There's thousands of you guys on right now. I'm trying to find the question. If you guys can ask it again, I just don't know where it went. We love care. I'm so thankful. This is fascinating cheat sheet. Yeah, I'm just not able to find that question. So I'm sorry. Are the care schools run by Young Living? They're not. They are run by a Young Living Diamonds family, though. And I love resources put out by the Diamonds. I believe so heavily. I mean, they have walked the walk. They've done the talk. They've built the business. They've laid the structure. They know what it takes for you guys to rank up. And I'm a huge advocate of Diamond Resources. So Aaron Rodgers Oil Supply Store is phenomenal. Anything by Melissa Pepping is incredible. Courtney Kreitz's Life Steps app is amazing. Anything by Jordan Schrant, her events are phenomenal. Richard Bliss-Brooke is just knocking it out of the ballpark with all of his training. Doc Ollie and his CBD school and his symposiums that he does. Guys, these people are really good at what they do. So, I mean, I follow them. I use their tools on my team. I'm a huge advocate, and I know there's many diamonds I haven't named. I could sit here for an hour and name the resources that are out of there. I can't think of anything that I don't use that's out there by anybody. So just, utilize and lean on their trainings. Care School was put together by David Stewart, who is a diamond in Young Living. What is the Care School? It's a 4-day, 25-hour intensive where you walk away with training in 5 different fields of aromatherapy. So oils of the Bible, aromachemisry, Vitaflex technique, Raindrop, and emotional release. Is Raindrop okay for sitting up when you can't lay on the back? Yeah. I would rather do a Raindrop on somebody and have them sitting up than have them not get a Raindrop because they can't sit down or lay down. So for sure. Yeah, I would absolutely do that. All right, so find other places you can do continuing education. Find Gary Young's small book on Raindrop on Amazon and start building your oils library. Oh, thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. If my home healthcare client is age 90 and quite heavy, stick to the feet or Raindrop in a sitting position. I would do both if she can handle both of them. Yeah, you can modify when necessary. Absolutely, absolutely. Getting the oils into them is always the goal. So whatever you need to do to get to that goal, that's the right thing. All right. Here in Ontario, Canada, I did my Raindrop Technique certification with Dr. Sabina DeVita. She is one of my favorite people in all of Young Living. I love her. I went to go do an event for her in Toronto, and right after the event, my car got hit and it was totaled. And so we had to bring my van across the border. It was crazy. And she is a treasured friend. You have a very, very beautiful diamond in your backyard there. So love her so much. All right, so pick up any of Dr. David Stewart's resources on the Care School website. It's raindroptraining.com. Many of you guys have asked me where you can find Care. Hop on to Care instructor Christina Hagen's page. I haven't talked much about Christina Hagen, but she's the woman that taught me my first Care School. A beautiful woman. I mean, it's just an incredible heart to see people learning the skill of it. She runs a Facebook page called Adapting Raindrop, and she has a website called adaptingraindrop.com. And it is literally the tip of the iceberg, what I've covered as far as questions in Raindrop, and she has just got it all on that page. So that's a really good resource. My first Care School I did with her, and my last 2 I did with Anthony Stewart, who's the global director. And I will always have a special place in my heart for Christina. Number 5, attend a Care School weekend. I told you raindroptraining.com. And number 6, do Raindrop. Just do it. You guys have had so much training now. Just as silly as it sounds, you can read books and you can watch DVDs until you're 120 years old. And that's not a bad place to start to get some of the education, but you're never going to feel confident until you actually do the technique. So find people and start raindropping them, not once or twice a year, but whenever you see a need. Whenever you see the need, just get out there and do it. So the reward for your work, I know there's a lot of Raindrop accessories and resources out there that'll help you along the way, but the one that has continually blessed me is that cheat sheet. So I just pray that it really is a blessing. For those of you that have the Oiler edition, this is printed in the back of your book in black and white, but I want to give you the color version also. So when we release the media package, I'm going to be a day or 2 behind on it this week because I'm in the middle of a homeschool field trip with my kiddos. But when we get the media package up for Raindrop, I will put this as a downloadable image. So you guys can go to my website to the Raindrop page for those of you that don't have it. And you can print it off as an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and you can laminate it and you can use it, and it will be free off of my website. So we had graphic designers put that sheet together. We paid them to do it. We had editors go through it, and then we had the Care School vet it, and it's a cost that John and I will absorb because I really think it's a great tool for you guys to be able to have when you're building the businesses. So I do want to take a moment and just personally thank Anthony Stewart, who is the director of the Care School, and Christina Hagen, who is my instructor and my personal mentor when I was first learning Raindrop, for just taking the time to review it, line by line for accuracy and make sure that you guys are getting the best information possible as Gary would want it written. And I also want to thank Mary Young, Gary's wife, for generously donating never before seen photos of Gary's hands doing Raindrop in its early stages. So Mary Young was actually the photographer for the pictures of Gary in my book. at the end of the class. And it's a real treat to have something from, you know, the CEO of Young Living, to have something of hers in the book is something very precious that she's given you guys. So when you see those pictures, just know that those are Gary's hands, and the person taking the picture was Mary Young. So pretty neat. All right, so the apply it section. This is at the end of the script. I always tell you, hey, what's something that you guys can order? And so I give you some loyalty rewards ideas. At $190 PV, it would be the Raindrop collection, of course. $250. Some of my favorite Raindrop add-ons are Release and Grounding. 3 Wise Men. Aw, thank you, Brandy. I appreciate you. 3 Wise Men. That can be a pretty intense emotional releasing session. Inner Child, Sarah. That one's bada bing, bada boom. I mean, of all the emotional release oils, Sarah, I think, is the biggest zinger for getting rid of stuff. Frankincense, cedarwood, and Palo Santo. Those are all really good oils to add in to assist in the release. Care School is raindroptraining.com. And then 300 PV, I would order Ningxia, because I love giving Ningxia packets when I'm done with my Raindrop. Like, it is my go-to, is Ningxia packets. So some action steps. Give a Raindrop this week. That's your homework. I want you guys, I've got one contest up on the page right now for coloring sheets and Vitaflex pictures, but I'm going to do another one because I want to see who actually gets out and does this and does the training. So it's okay if it's imperfect. It's all right. It doesn't need to be perfect. With what a gesture of love and kindness to lay your mom or to lay your best friend on a bed or on a table and just practice what you've learned. You're blessing them beyond belief, and you're increasing your skill set for a day when you really may need to know Raindrop. And you're not going to increase your skill set if you're not out there practicing it, right? So do it this week. And that day will come. I promise you. There's a day you're going to be very thankful that you know the Raindrop technique. Another thing is, if you don't have a lot of time, learn the mini Raindrop, that 3-minute Raindrop that I showed you in the class. So when my kids have a sniffle, it's the first thing that I do. Carol Pierce says, I did a Raindrop today. Carol, I'm going to send you a teacher's edition because you're just awesome. Okay, so you're the first winner tonight. So you got to email me at oilabilitywithsarah, SARAH, @gmail.com, and I'm just going to get that in your hands as a thank you. I love that. So the first thing I do is I line all my kids up in their beds, and I start dropping the 9 Raindrop oils on their spine. Just drop one, feather it in, drop the next, feather it in. Takes 3 minutes, and you just work those powerful oils into the spinal tissue. Stay under the neck for the hot oils, right? And then practice Vitaflexing on your arm. I wanted you guys to practice Vitaflex pictures on my page, right? I know it's weird, like to sit there and just be Vitaflexing your arm, just on your arm. I get it. But let's be honest, all of oiling is weird, right? You're already in the weird category, so just do it. Find a quiet corner with nobody staring at you and just run through the motions with your pads and your nails. Make a circuit, break a circuit. And then when you're feeling adventurous, go grab a human and Vitaflex their feet. And I promise you, when you switch to your non-dominant hand, or you switch feet, you're going to feel like you're in 2nd grade doing it. It's okay. It's normal. The more you do it, the better you're going to get. And always remember, Raindrop is good for you and it's good for them. It's good for both of you guys, right? So that wraps up the book. Now we're going to take a quick peek at the mini, and I'm going to condense what I read a little bit tonight just so I don't keep you guys too long. But we are doing Essential Oils 108, which is the Raindrop class, which means right after convention, we're going to do the Feelings class, and that is a zinger. And I'm considering doing an entire demo of an emotional release live and showing you guys that, picking up a Friday teaching and showing you like the whole thing. So we'll see what the interest is for that. But there isn't a demo out there that Young Living has recorded. So in this case, because I don't have, I'm not reinventing the wheel, I think that it might be valuable to you. So if you don't have the mini yet, you need it. And I'm running a sale on it right now because I'm in the middle of aroma sharing. So I've got a sale on my website. So go grab it on the, the minis aren't on sale, but everything else on my website is on sale. Once we cross the 6-month marker on my books, then I get publishers' permission to start discounting script books. So it's coming. We're getting close. Really, really close. So if you don't have the mini yet, go get a copy of it. There are 4 things in every single chapter of the mini. So all 25 script book classes are in one mini. You don't need to buy a Raindrop mini and a Thieves mini and a CBD mini because it's all just in one spot. So what I will tell you is most people walk out with a piece of information, maybe 3 pieces of information max. And when we give them a remembering the class section and the things I want them to remember, there's like 20 pieces of information in here. So these are just bullet points of the most important things from the class. So their retention rate is like, right, way higher. Then after that, I give them a heart message, and it's just me sitting down next to them saying, hey, here's the deal. Like, this is why this topic matters. And then I give them some action steps and I tell them what to order. Super simple. This mini markets you. It markets you. So every class you teach, every vendor event that you do, every person that was coming to classes that isn't coming to classes, every follow-up message that you send to somebody, every time you're trying to retain your team, every time you're trying to get people to come to a class maybe that's already on your team or not on your team yet, every time you're prospecting, mini. All right. I would literally be handing these things out like candy. They are such a good resource because they're going to pop on and they're going to look at the thing they're interested in, and their eyes are going to slide to some things they're not interested in, and they want the whole class, and they're going to come to you looking for more. If I have the whole script book, do I need a mini? I would get a mini for yourself, Peggy, because I want you to learn how to use this as a tool. This markets you. It markets what you can teach. So most people, the majority of your team, they're going to show up for one class. So you have a window in that one class to show them everything that you can do. And in the front of the book, it shows all 25 classes you can teach out of the script book. So maybe you didn't know when they sat in the class that they have an interest in hormones, or they have an interest in learning about Gary and Seed to Seal and why this company is different, or they have an interest in learning basic massage, or they have an interest in learning the neuroauricular technique. Maybe you didn't even know that, right? Michelle Davis says, I bought my whole team a mini. That's awesome. My team has got thousands and thousands of people on it, but I'm in the process of getting each of them for my team too. We've gotten them out to all the silvers, golds, and platinums on my team, and I'm systematically going through each leg and sending them to my team because they get excited about the classes and they start showing up. So what we're finding with the mini is people that would go to one class are now showing up to 5, 6, or 7 classes. And when you have product education, you see OGV growth. You're going to see OGV growth from it. So remembering the class, let's take a look at the 108 mini for just a few minutes. So this is the stuff that I want you to remember out of this class. Raindrop is a powerful technique that uses 8 various methods of driving oils into the systems of the body, from Lakota Indian feathering to the electrical power of Stanley Burroughs' VitaFlex technique. It's also called a modern anointing. And the names of some of the techniques used in Raindrop are Valor Balancing, VitaFlex, feathering, finger circles, thumb VitaFlex, finger straddle saw, stretch and rock, and the palm slide technique. During VitaFlex, the most important thing to remember is make a circuit, break a circuit, right? Make a circuit, break a circuit. That's how you use the body's electricity to shoot oil up a nerve. I wanted to tell you one of the things that's happening a lot this month is I'm getting a lot of requests from diamonds to get these books shipped to them by convention, at least by the end of convention, so they can stick it in the swag bags of their team that show up to their convention parties. So that's another use for it. Whenever you guys are doing events, use it as a little tool inside your swag bags, because it's intense product education for people. And 25 different topics. There isn't any other mini out there that teaches 25 little tiny mini classes in one itty bitty little dollar book. So it's affordable, it's duplicatable, and it's going to draw people to classes for sure, right? Janet Kennedy says, I left an Euler edition and a workbook with my team in Florida, also some minis and game plan minis. That's awesome. Awesome. I don't have this up on LSP yet. I have been talking with them though, so I'll keep you guys in the know on our books. They've been so good to us in the past, and they carry game plan. They carried many of my books, so I'll keep the dialogue going. We got to get through convention, right? So Raindrop was developed by Young Living founder D. Gary Young in 1989, before Young Living ever even existed. God spoke the world into existence with his own voice. Frequency and electricity are things that he created. A voice has a frequency that can be measured. Raindrop works for 2 reasons. Number 1, the electrical frequency of the oils is higher than the human body. And number 2, the chemistry of the oils and the constituents inside enact change in the cells, purging bad information and resetting the cells back to the way that they were created and designed to work. The oils used in the Raindrop technique are Valor, oregano, thyme, basil, wintergreen, marjoram, cypress, peppermint, aroma seeds, and ortho-ease, which is a massage blend. Joy says, I need minis. You do. I know. So there's a reason to use the oils in a specific order during the Raindrop technique. They will start from the outside of the body, the oils, and work their way in. So in this order: electrical field, muscles, bones, voluntary and involuntary muscles, and etc. The final oils are driving oils that push the muck in the cells out through the lymphatic system and into the excretory system so that they can leave the body. Don't you want your people in your team remembering all of this, right? This is good stuff. So an uber simple anatomy lesson. The organs pretty much line up where the nerves are in the body. So if you were to put your feet together, they look like a little road map of the entire human body. Put oils on these points and you will send them up the nerve. You don't need to have a degree in anatomy to understand where to place the oils. If you're in the general area, they will go where they need to go, right? They will go where they need to go. Heart message. So that's all the different key points on Raindrop. And I want you guys to know this is not a heavy lift. So that's 1 page of information. And now we're doing the heart message. It's 3/4 of a page of information. So you can read it in just a couple of minutes. It's not a lot. So this is the heart messages are just me sitting down with your brand new members saying, hey, this is why this topic matters. This is why this is something that's important. In my opinion, everyone should learn the Raindrop technique, at least at a remedial level, through a book or through a website. It doesn't mean that you need to go to school or become an instructor. And you guys know I really feel you should build your businesses and then become an instructor if it's something the Lord wants you to do. But of all the techniques and tools that I have in my arsenal, I've used this more than anything else. I use it for emotions. I use it to pull myself out of sadness. I use it when I'm dropping things constantly and I just feel off. I use it when sickness hits our home and it just seems to linger. I use it when I don't know what else to do and I don't have any answers. Raindrop has helped me in ways that I have never imagined. Yeah, anybody in Canada can get the teacher's edition. You just have to order it through my website and unfortunately pay customs and international shipping, which is a real pain in the wazoo. But we don't have a publishing house in Canada yet. So you can get the script book Oiler edition and the workbook and the mini on Amazon in Canada. We have it in like 17 different countries, and I believe it just launched in Australia too. But Amazon will not print the teacher's edition because it doesn't have a binding. All right. So the nice thing about this technique, back to the heart message, is that there's no need to be perfect. Hands down, it is the most complicated skill that I've learned in oiling, especially VitaFlex. You got to VitaFlex a lot of times before you feel like you're doing it right and you get that rhythm in your hands. But here's the thing to remember, the oils will still work even if your VitaFlex is not perfect. They will still work if you place oils in the wrong spot on the body, and they'll still work if you're doing it without someone skilled in the room to check your technique. They'll even work if you're like me and 7 years into learning this and you're not bending your knees correctly and taking out your back because you don't have proper position, right? Leaning over people doing a Raindrop. The oils will work because they're designed to work without us having all the answers. I'm going to repeat that. The oils will work because they're designed to work without us having all the answers. I mean, the earth's been around for thousands of years, and the oils have been around for thousands of years, and they've been working without us being around, right? They worked in the book of Genesis, and they will work today, whether you are perfect or not. My advice is to go to youngliving.com/raindrop or to my website, oilabilityteam.com, and click on the 108 class under share and under script book and look at the PowerPoint slides and watch the free training and then do it at home again and again, even if you're not perfect. Do it if nobody ever sees what you do. Do it even when you don't feel confident, and do it even, because it's a valuable skill and it could make all of the difference for your family in the future. Ethel asked if Raindrop makes the spine straight, and that's another question that I can't answer compliantly for you. What I would tell you is do it and see. Do it and see what the Lord does in front of you, in those quiet places in your bedrooms and in your living rooms on your massage tables. You're going to see things I've never even seen, when you're out there and you're doing this. So do this because it's a valuable skill and it could make all the difference for your family in the future. If there's one thing that you learn from this book and it's Raindrop, then I'm going to feel like I've given you something very valuable to take care of those that you love. All right, I'm going to feel that way. So what to order? Raindrop collection. And then I would also recommend ordering some extra 15 ml bottles of the oils that you'll run through quickly in Raindrop technique. So Valor, Basil, Marjoram, Wintergreen, definitely Cypress. Valor and Cypress I go through the fastest because you're using Valor more than the other oils. And Cypress, you have a thunder shower in the middle of it. So you use a lot of Cypress. My favorite Raindrop add-in oils are Release, Three Wise Men, Grounding, and White Angelica. I also really like Inner Child. I'm very grown to that. drawn to it, and the Ningxia packet. So action steps, and this is the action steps from the little mini, not from the back of the script book. Give a raindrop this week. If it's imperfect, it's okay, right? You're caring for them and you. Practice VitaFlex. Watch the raindrop class. Watch the whole thing in its entirety one time for 60 minutes this week. That's at youngliving.com/raindrop. Give a mini raindrop. You guys could totally do that tonight because it's only 3 minutes. And check out the Care Raindrop School and all their wonderful training articles at raindrop.com. So that wraps up our training on Raindrop. That means tomorrow night, we're going to dedicate the night to the workbook and application. Like, what do you do with this outside of doing Raindrop? Like, how do I actually bring this into practice in my own home? If you want the action steps, you need to show up tomorrow night, and we're going to tear the workbook apart. And then next week we're off, but I will be on Tuesday night and just do a quick business roundtable with you. But we'll be off for boot camp next week, so you guys can focus on convention. The week after, you do not want to miss it. It is the feelings class. It's all our emotional release stuff, and it is so powerful, so powerful. So get on during the sale. Stock up on all your resources. Let me pick a couple of winners for you guys getting on today. Tell me if you've never won anything from me, and I'm going to give away a couple of Oilers editions tonight. And then I just need my winners to email me at oilabilitywithsarah@gmail.com, and we will get those books out to you in the mail. All right. Judy Menzie, your winner number 1. I'm going to give you 2 Oiler edition and 2 workbook books. Robin Klinker, you are winner number 2. You're going to be getting an Oiler edition and a workbook. All right. Next up, Darlene Wilburn, your winner number 3. So you are going to get an Oiler edition and a workbook. And Ruja Green, your winner number 4. Congratulations. I'm going to send you 10 minis. Okay. I love you guys so much. I will be on tomorrow night from the same hotel room. I'll be on tomorrow night, and we'll do the workbook for Raindrop. And thank you for giving up your time and getting on and learning with me. I'm always grateful that you guys show up here, that you're doing boot camp with me. I love you so much. I believe in you. And this is a skill that's worth practicing. It's worth learning it and getting out and doing it on your family. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel as we tear apart the workbook. Bye, guys.